Hey there folks, how's it going? SociopathicOtter here, and it's time for some more Chrono Trigger. You get it? Time travel. Oh boy, welcome to one of my least favorite areas in the game. Now this is Chrono Trigger, so it's still a pretty darn fun experience. But, I'm not a fan. Got one muscle ring. Awesome. So what exactly are muscle rings? Vigor plus 6, wow, sign me up for that. Okay, so Marl and Luca can put the maiden suit. Actually, just Marl. So she can go ahead and have that. And nobody needs the hide tunic. Yeah, I think we're current on equipment. Awesome. So one thing I don't like about these rats is that they actually steal items from you. Luckily, I haven't shown that off quite yet, but I probably will eventually. And some of them spawn items. And these guys are just so irritating. Hey, wait a second, I just realized something interesting. So, I mentioned earlier, oh my goodness, that octopus attack is scary. So, I mentioned earlier that magic would actually come later in the game, and chronologically speaking, chronological, that's actually the case. But, it's interesting to me that on screen right now, we've got Fire World and Fire Sword, and these are magic-based texts. So, part of Wings of Time's kind of quality of life insurance here is that it's actually giving me magic before the game has told me there's magic. It's something I didn't even realize because I played this game so many times, and yet it's such a welcome change and so pleasantly enhances the gameplay that it was a smooth and seamless experience. My appreciation for this hack is growing every part. Okay, let's go ahead and attack these guys. But even though I'm getting double attacks and everything, wow, I decimated that monster. I still don't have individual magic yet. And I think this is something I touched on earlier, but it's an interesting enough contrast that I'm going to touch on it again. So, Luca, the cool, calculated party member, oh goodness gracious, still a tonic, very nice. And Marl, the hothead, passionate party member, have differing magic types than you would think. So, Marl has fire magic, despite being, I messed that up, see? You see how interesting it is that the characters' personalities line up with the opposite kind of magic? So, Marl has ice magic, even though she's the hot-headed, passionate one. And Luca has fire magic, even though she's the cool, calculated. It's really interesting to me how most characters have the kind of magic that's stereotypical. Like, Chrono has light magic because he's a do-gooder, and a certain evil character we'll see later has shadow magic because he's evil. But the fact that Marl and Luca have their magic switched is really interesting. And one thing that makes that more interesting still is if you look at the cover art of Chrono Trigger, Marl is actually using fire. So they intended Marl to have fire and Luca to have ice. But something changed in development, I don't know what or when, that they decided, hey, that's no good. So, all this talk about Marl having this very passionate and fiery personality, and yet having ice-type powers, which you would associate with somebody a little bit more cerebral, a little bit more withdrawn and reserved, that kind of complication got me thinking about other forms of media where characters' personalities and characters' powers are actually at a right angle in some way. So, as all overthinkers and overcomplicators do, I went to TV tropes, because TV tropes is the Wikipedia for people who want to analyze media and kind of figure out different patterns and different ideas in their favorite pieces of works. So, one great example that I found was Knucklebine from Monster Hunter. So this guy has all the marks of a hooligan, right? And so Knuckle seems like the kind of guy where he would fit right into JoJo's and he wouldn't quite fit into other slice of life anime, in the sense that he is very direct and very blunt and generally seems more like Joseph Joestar than Jonathan Joestar. And yet, we, the viewers, are very surprised when Knuckle is actually one of the most kind and empathetic and genuinely caring people on the show. In fact, his special power actually ends up being what is basically compound interest weaponized, because once he hits an opponent, he basically saps their power by giving them power and then charging them compound interest until they go bankrupt because they can't pay back his initial loan. So it's interesting that such a character who looks so hooliganish actually has a very pacifistic power and actually fights in a relatively gentle and relatively pacifistic way. That kind of discrepancy is very confusing at first, and some can say it's even actually kind of funny. And yet, I think the discordance kind of fleshes out Knuckles' character more, where you see that he's had a troubled past, and he's had questionable incidents in his life, but he still fundamentally tries to stick to his morals and tries to fit his moral framework into his power. So that kind of discordance, as we see with Knuckle, and as we see with Marl, can actually serve to flesh out a character just a little bit more when we primarily only know a superficial element of them or a specific method that they use to achieve their goals. Wow, I didn't realize it gave Chrono plus 10 magic defense. So the interesting thing about giving me such varied items so early is that I'm actually going to get all those status effects like magic defense plus 10 and resistance to certain status conditions in such a way that it's going to make fights less annoying without me even realizing it. Okay, these healing sessions are really starting to annoy me, so I'm going to see if I can knock these enemies out. I guess not. I'm gonna wait for Fire Sword, or at the very least Fire Whirl. Nope, just kidding. Fire Sword it is. We'll get rid of this guy, and then for the rest we'll just spam. That's crazy. I love how Chrono Trigger shifts the tone so well, and I've already kind of talked about the human impact that that's had, but from a ludonarrative perspective, it's really crazy just how synthesized it is. And more to the point, it's very natural. It flows very well. Like, one thing I like about Hunter x Hunter, and I know this seems off track, but I'm getting to the connection here. Chrono Trigger and Hunter x Hunter are similar in the sense that their transitions are seamless, and they're beautiful. So, in Hunter x Hunter's case, it transitions between arcs in such a way that fans actually argue when one arc ends and one arc starts. So, it's so unclearly defined and so well transitioned that it doesn't really feel like the end of one arc. It feels like a natural sequence of events. And so, alright, I'm gonna attack these two. I find that it's interesting that Chrono Trigger is like the video game equivalent of that. So we went from the present to the past, and after that, back to the present, and now, well, we haven't actually seen it yet, but this is actually the apocalyptic future. I'm gonna Fire Sword it, because why not? So, the apocalyptic future actually segues us further into the story as we see why this future came into being. I love Chrono's little fist bumps, by the way. They seem so spirited, so passionate. I really like them. Those little characteristic touches really make the characterization special to me, I feel like. Because even though Chrono doesn't have any dialogue, he's still... Am I out of MP? I'm not, thank goodness. Even though the dialogue doesn't necessarily characterize Chrono because he's mute, you can still see so many of his facial expressions and actions in such a way that you feel like, yeah, you know who Chrono is. Alright, nobody needs to be healed, so I guess I'll just waste this turn. Can I slash? Will that do anything? Yeah, I guess so. Cool. Great, so that's that. I don't know, it's just... I keep talking about the game's characterization and just how deftly it moves from idea to idea. But I think that really is one of Chrono Trigger's strengths. It's such a unique game. Oh nice, I can get all three of them if Luca's ATB bar aligns with that, which it did. Very nice. But the fact that Chrono Trigger does everything so well is, to me, something that's really, really special. I can't think of a single thing that Chrono Trigger does particularly well. Like with Earthbound, I can say the tone is fantastic. With Final Fantasy VI, I can say the story was a pioneer for future JRPGs. For Chrono Trigger, there's nothing special that sticks out. unless we're talking about deep game design ideas, and not purely, oh, I liked the gameplay, or oh, I liked the story. Right? For Star Wars A New Hope, we say, oh, I liked the ending, and I liked the tone shift, and I liked the feelings. And for Empire Strikes Back, we say, oh, I liked the setup, and I liked the desolate feeling, right? For Chrono Trigger, we don't say any of those things. We say, wow, what a cohesive experience, and what a wonderful game of art. I once read somewhere, I forget where, that, or maybe it was Reddit because it was somebody's opinion, they said if they could send any one game out to space to say, hey, this is what art humans have created, and this is the pinnacle of human expression, it would be Chrono Trigger. I know that's kind of crazy, but I do really feel that Chrono Trigger is the pinnacle of that passion and joy and power and emotions that really makes humans special. For better or for worse. Here's Eris Dome. Am I supposed to be here? I have no idea. Let's explore the surroundings first. Because I was like exploring the world. I'm not really a 100%er, but I do definitely enjoy going the wrong way before going the right way. Wow. This tone in particular is just crazy. Also, yes, for the record, I am going the right way. So, I saw some sewers, which will actually lead me to a side quest area, which I will have to go to later, but it's optional for right now. And there was something else that I'm not quite sure of. Who are you? You there, where are you from? They traveled from the west. That's crazy. It's like the reverse of America, right? Instead of going west, we came from the west. Oh, I can travel. Alright, let's go talk to this guy. I'm done. Wait, they have directors here? They actually have, like, economies and stuff here? That's crazy. Oh, he's done talking. Okay. I expected a lecture. So, before I do anything, I think that I'm going to rest in the Enertron. Yes, I'm still hungry. And I'm gonna go ahead and save up. In the past and in the present, we had so much color variation in terms of color palettes, and now they're all gray. I think it's because the sprites are the same color, but it's still an interesting little thematic detail. Nice. So we need a password to get through. The password is actually ludicrously simple because the SNES only has like 7 buttons, so it's some very easy to guess permutation of that, but A, I don't remember what the password is, because I tend to have the attention span of a squirrel when not necessarily wanting to remember things, and B, there is an in-game reason for not remembering the password. This rat looks like a statue and there's a memo attached to it. Anything in the vicinity of the room coming up is going to be attacked. So, being the happy-go-lucky, hearty, excited protagonists we are, we're gonna romp straight towards it. Boom. There's actually a skip that speedrunners use where they do some kind of save and reset glitch. They have like a save anywhere glitch, and then based on that they reset past the Guardian trigger, so this thing doesn't actually come in. But that's not a strategy I'm necessarily accustomed to anymore. So I'm just gonna skip it. What's going on? We got another boss fight. Let's do it. Okay, I was expecting the animations. Yeah, there we go. I was expecting the animations to play, so kind of got myself into a false sense of hype, but that's okay. So the way this Guardian boss fight works, I believe, is you take out the core, and then you have a limited amount of time to kind of attack the base. Oh, okay, you can't use fire magic on these guys. Very, very nice. Well, I'll need another plan of attacking, if that's the case, I guess. What I'm probably going to end up doing is spamming attack on these core bits here, and then attacking the main frame and using Aura Whirl if I feel like that's necessary. Great. Physical attacks also work, but nobody but Chrono actually has that, so it's not necessarily a party-wide utility right now. So if I use Slash with Chrono, that should be okay as well. Just kidding! Apparently Slash is magically based rather than physically based. That's pretty interesting, actually. Alright, and this is where we're introduced to the beam-like elements of Chrono Trigger's attacks. So a lot of bosses in this game have beam-like elements, which I feel like is interesting because this game has such fluid physical animations, but it chooses to rely a lot on those magical, earthboundy kind of attacks. Okay, how do I attack this thing? I can't really use Flame Toss, so I'm just going to hit it with regular attacks. So this is a pretty straightforward boss fight, I think. You just kind of spam A, and then make sure you restructure your targets whenever necessary. First of all, the crit animation was super satisfying. And second of all, I never noticed the intricate facial structures that the Guardian has. It's actually pretty interesting. So you can actually see the Guardian's like mouth, and I don't know if it's some sort of like Cyclops eye, or if it's like an automaton in the sense that it doesn't have any defined eyes or eyelids like humans have. But I definitely think it's interesting just how prettily and how interestingly the Guardian is shaped. Wow, I hit a 1 cycle with the Guardian? That's incredible. So, again, I'm kind of comparing it to the main game where you need 3 or 4 of those cycles. The bots are actually supposed to revive, and then you kill them and then attack the main frame in a cyclical manner. But I guess I'm over leveled and I'm playing Wings of Time, so no need to worry about that cycle. Cool. Something reeks. Yeah, kind of like that fight. That fight kind of reeked, I feel like. Just a lot of spamming A. The refrigeration must have failed. You know, I feel like this is really interesting because in Civ, when you research text, you like go past the tech tree and you research all these interesting ideas, kind of put them together in your civilization, and you've got them forever. It never even occurred to me, like in real life, where you can actually regress and lose text. That might be an interesting component for Civ 7 if they ever decide to put that in. What does the dead guy have on him? Some kind of seed. Alright. Well, is it pseudo-random or not? Haha. Do you suppose it could grow in a place like this? I don't know, is it procedurally determined or not? Okay. Can anybody else equip this glow helm? I guess Marl can. Luca isn't really a fan of those kind of helmets. And I think nothing more than that is necessary. Cool. Let's go ahead and leave. And now the very lifelike statue from before is going to come into play. That is, once I get to that part of the screen. Also, I really like the gears on the bottom too. Really makes it kind of feel like a steampunky, futuristic kind of vibe. I'm really digging these kind of short and in the background aesthetic details that I might not have noticed before. Looks like a statue. Oh, okay, just kidding. So that statue is going to come back into play later, I guess. Sometimes the sequence of this game isn't necessarily super fluid for me. Wow, I totally missed that actually. You're supposed to read the dead guy. So, if you actually go and read the dead guy's corpse, you'll find a message that says, hey, by the way, that statue, that's not a statue. Now, if only the same thing worked for the creations of Michelangelo. The rat is more than just a statue. It knows the secret of this dome. It's crazy how that one A press totally changed the course of those 30 seconds. And of course, even though it's a statue, an inanimate object, it moved. Go figure. Dash for the B button. Oh boy, I forgot I had auto run installed. So there's no dashing with the B button, there's just walking. I always love chasing after this guy. It takes me a couple of tries as I figure out exactly how to round corners and how to optimize the chase feature here in such a way that when he takes a turn, I actually get him. Got it. Press and hold Eleanor, and then A. So, is the password? No, I'm thinking of another event. So Luca's mom actually has an event where you can time travel back in the game and meet her. And so I was thinking about that event. Basically, in that event, what happens is you have to enter her name, Lara, in order to save her from being crippled by some sort of machinery, I believe. And here we have a similar mechanism going on. You literally press L, R, and A. Well, good times. I'm actually kind of glad that happened in a way, because it kind of lets me analyze one quirk of mine that I happen to have when video gaming. I've had it for quite a long time, ever since I started playing games to kind of enjoy them as an experience, rather than just kind of getting through them or playing them to waste time. So I've realized that sometimes I tend to focus on the big picture. You know, I look at kind of these thematic elements of the game, or I look at stupid little details like Chrono's hair and the color palettes of all the NPCs in such a way that I kind of miss the forest for the trees, or I miss the trees for the forest, whichever way that analogy goes. Ooh, a gold suit, very nice. So I feel like by not looking at those tiny little details, or at the very least glossing over them for more interesting things, I tend to miss obvious details that are right in front of me. So right there, I missed the L, R, and A thing, and then on a second deliberation, I got it. It's kind of interesting to me how all those gameplay styles kind of tend to vary from person to person, and they can definitely change the gameplay experience in a way that takes one game and kind of makes it into two different perceptions. So that sounds a little abstract, so maybe I can make it more concrete with an example. I was playing Super Metroid the other day, and there was one part where I think there was a hidden wall or something. It's the part where you get to Kraid's lair, so you have to use, I believe, a super missile and then get into there. So I was stuck at that place for about 5 to 10 minutes, but I was busy looking at how pretty the enemies look in certain places and how interesting the design of the whole place is. I don't know what it's called, Brinstar or Omastar or whatever it is. I don't have the names memorized. But, ooh, a load bow. But I did feel like it was interesting. Hang on, let me get this equipment done first, so I can juggle both those thoughts. Okay, so I did think it was interesting how in that instance I had to Google it, and it kind of took me out of the game. So it made it less of an immersive experience, but it made me appreciate Super Metroid more as a form of art. So that might be in opposition to somebody who played the game with the intention of totally experiencing it, of totally beating it without looking at any sort of guide or any sort of outside help. And it's funny to me how we may be playing the same thing, but we're getting two completely different experiences. And I think a pretty critical part to Let's Playing is actually entangled in that very same idea that I was talking about just prior. So it's really interesting to me how you can take this one work, say Chrono Trigger, and then show it off in many, many different ways. That's part of the power of creative works, I think, because they let you examine one critical and specific thing and take a look at it in infinitely many permutations and through infinitely many ways. That's the power of human creativity, and I think that's pretty impressive. And that, too, is where this episode's going to end. That's a very smooth transition, I think. So that's pretty much it for this episode. If you liked the video, maybe consider liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, and all that jazz. Comments are especially great because Chrono Trigger is a great game to discuss, as per usual. So I think that's pretty much all I got. Peace.